guys!
Welcome to season 5.
Woo!
New season, new year.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole
New year for the
thing.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah! We did not line this up, but it did happen that way. Like, it
it
wasn't
did.
planned.
The stars
Yeah.
aligned. It's all good.
Come on. It's great.
Um, we're still doing virtual because I did payroll this week and things have been crazy, and my brother and his wife are coming to visit tomorrow.
Woohoo!
So I figured it would be easier to just do this virtually after work on a Thursday.
Very fair.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Um,
So,
okay. So welcome, y'all, to season 5, Wild.
yeah.
We're
Season 5?
reading Quicksilver by Callie Hart this season.
Yeah.
Very excited. I have never read this book before, so I'm actually reading it 3 chapters at a time. The plan is to read it 3 chapters at a time per week so that I can truly just like experience it for the first time on camera.
It's gonna be fun. It will get hard to do that eventually, but I'm excited for you.
It's going to be a real test of my willpower, but that's okay. It'll be
It's
fine.
gonna be fun. Be great.
Um, I think, at least for the beginning, we're going to be taking it 3 chapters at a time.
Yeah.
The first 3 chapters were really long. There's a lot of information like packed in there. So I think that
Great.
we can bring back one of our segments, the world building segment, which we
Yeah.
kind of let
There's
go
a lot
of.
with this. Yeah. There's a
And
lot with this,
then
and we're just dropped into it,
yeah,
kind of. So it's
basically.
interesting. Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
think we can also keep track of characters because I feel like there's going to be a lot in this one.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Well, shall we get started?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Chapter
Let's
recap.
go.
This is very reminiscent of like ACOTAR days. I wrote this at
It
work.
is.
So,
Love that. Perfect.
here we go. Chapter
Woo.
1, The Climb. We open on Saris? I think it's Saris, right?
I think it's Saris, yeah. I
Saris.
listened
Okay.
to it today. You think I'd remember?
You
Yes.
said? Okay, we open we open on Saris Thane in the clutches of a guardian, the ruthless and cutthroat law enforcement of Zulveran City. Saris has seen several deaths at the Guardian's hands, including that of her own mother. The Guardian's armor is golden. If it feels like this is very disjointed and I'm just throwing words at you, that's what it felt like to start this book for the first time.
You are thrown in. Yes. You get no context.
No context. Saris
Nope.
is from the 3rd ward, which is apparently the plague-ridden ward, and she is currently in the hub to procure metal as part of a deal for water for her and her brother. Saris tells the Guardian, who's like kind of got her in like he's like holding her by the throat, essentially, and he's like demanding information from her. So she tells him that she's from the 3rd ward, and he drops her immediately, and they have this like kind of whole discussion where he's like, "But that's quarantine," and she's like, yeah, it is. What?" And he like kind of kicks her in and he's like telling her like trying to tell her that he's gonna like put her in the dungeons or take her in whatever, but he's so disgusted that he's like touched this possibly contagious person because she uses his fear of the plague and like pretends to have the rattles is what the sickness is called, basically like
Mhm.
COVID. It's just like a deep wet cough essentially.
Mhm.
And so he like drops her, he like gets away from her and he takes off his glove and gauntlet, which is made of gold, that was holding on to her and kind of like throws it on the floor, on the ground. She uses the fear of the rattles to distract him. Her plan essentially at this point is like she's got some metal that she stole from somewhere in the hub and she's gonna go trade it. The Guardian drops the gauntlet made of pure gold on the ground, and her plan goes straight out the window. She grabs the gauntlet and starts running. A chase ensues, the Guardian falling behind very quickly due to his extremely heavy armor, and Saris manages to climb the wall with some difficulty due to the glove. She says she's usually like a pretty good climber, but she like can't move her wrists and her fingers are like all fat, so she's having a little bit of a hard time climbing this sandstone wall. The Guardian tries to convince Ceres to drop the gauntlet. He's going to be punished for losing it. But the gauntlet means a new life for her and Hayden, who is her brother. We find out that Ceres has spent half her life climbing the sandstone walls and sneaking around into other wards in Zilverin, which is intriguing, but we don't get any more yet. And as she reaches the top, all of a sudden, the quartz in the sand begins to hum and hover right above the gauntlet, which is whispering, "She sees us, she feels us," over and over and over again. And she thinks to herself, "Not now, not here." She slams her hand down over the gauntlet and it stops. With that, Ceres is free. I also want to point out that when the gauntlet falls to the ground, she literally describes it as the metal hums in her ears. So, all all intriguing stuff. Chapter 2, The Glassmaker.
Woo.
Ceres has taken the gauntlet to Elroy's workshop, and she plans to melt it down and figure out what to do with the melted down gold from there. We find out that Elroy is like not really a guardian figure, but he's like been in their lives her whole life, and she realizes that he was in love with her mother. And so he like kind of he doesn't like take her and her brother in, but they like work in his workshop essentially. He's a glassmaker, the greatest glassmaker in Zilverin, but only the very wealthy who live in the hub or the center of Zilverin City are rich enough to afford windows against the desert sand and wind, mind you. Um, and so the other people in the third apparently also tried to use his forge for other nefarious items such as rebel swords and weapons. Elroy is absolutely furious at the danger and the doom that Ceres has brought down upon them. And he tells her that, like, you're gonna kill us all. And they basically like have this argument where they're talking about she's like, well, we need to you used to fight, you used to be this big, strong, rebellious guy, used to fight, and like you just have given up. And she can see that partly the mom's death had to do with some of it. And he tells her, like, what's the point in fighting? Because this city is a beast, and no matter how much rebellion we give it, how much misery we feed it, it's still going to be hungry. It's going to eat everything up. And she's essentially like, the point is that we fought, though. When it all ends, there's going to be those who fought and those who didn't. Okay, we find out a little bit more about the third ward as well. It's destitute. They work on a barter system for food and water, and it's a dangerous place. So much so, even like the water is rationed. People will beat each other up for scraps, for trash to eat, and for water. Elroy tells Ceres that she must climb that wall and drop the gauntlet right back over into the hub, but she refuses, and they get into a horrible argument. We find out that Queen Madra is the ruler of Zilverin City, and she's ruled for over 1,000 years. And again, that's all we get until later. We find out that Ceres can affect metal. It's magic, and it's a secret that can get her killed. We also find out that Hayden is her younger brother's name, and he's only 3.5 years younger than her, but he acts a lot younger, and I have some thoughts on him. So she's like, basically, she's like, whatever, I need to go and figure out what to do with this gauntlet, and I need to go find Hayden. So she's like walking around and she stumbles upon his body. He's just like laying outside of this place called the House of Kala or Kala's house in vernacular. And she has this moment where she's like looking at him, she's kind of like shaking her head, and she remembers that her mother basically used to call Hayden her golden summer child. He's got a lot of like a head full of curly blonde hair. He's got these like warm brown greenish hazel eyes. Meanwhile, Ceres is her winter, was her mother's winter. She's got dark raven hair and like piercing blue eyes. Hayden has a way of getting into trouble, and Ceres finds him beaten and lying on the ground outside of Kala's house, which is the only place in the third that lets one trade food or drink for goods rather than only money. Hayden has been beaten by Carrion Swift, a regular occurrence apparently, and he'd lost not only the water money that Ceres had sent him like to get water, he lost the water money. He's also lost his scarf or his mask, which I'll say it again, we're in the desert. There's wind, there's sand whipping everywhere, really harsh conditions. Everyone wears a scarf to cover to protect from the sand from being like breathed into their lungs. Well, he lost that in addition to all of the water money. So, Saris is like, "Ugh, come on." She takes Hayden to go back into college, and apparently Saris has a reputation here. The reputation is a guy could either get lucky or their ass kicked, depending on her mood, which I love so much. Love me
It's
a
very fun.
feisty female character.
Come on.
She
Absolutely.
then sees Carrion Swift, who is the most notorious gambler, smuggler, and cheat in Zul'Farun, and she also is like, and he is uncommonly good in bed, apparently. And we find out he's a redhead.
We all know I love a redhead, y'all. He's oh,
As Saris makes her way to confront Carrion, she's stopped by Bryn, who is the owner of Kala's, who tells Saris that she can't afford to have another brawl in there today. She's already lost 2 chairs, and that Hayden is actually on a 24-hour ban from the place. So Saris is basically like, okay, Hayden, go wait outside. I'll go get your scarf back. Because Hayden's like, I'm not leaving without my scarf. I'll die out there. And she's like, okay, I'll get your scarf. Go wait outside. Then she has this moment of panic because she's still holding the bag with the gauntlet in it, this 4-pound gold glove. And so she's thinking, like, she's like, Carrion will like sniff out that I have something to hide in this bag and he'll like talk me into relieving it to him. And then she goes, he talked me out of my pants, possibly the greatest heist in history. Which is like, what? There's so many fun things in this book. So she like shoves the bag into Hayden's hand and she's like, do not let this out of your sight. Go wait outside. I will be there in 10 minutes tops. Hayden like slinks out because he's just a pouty boy. And she makes her way over to Carrion. Carrion is sitting at this table, um, surrounded by like cronies slash friends, and he's tall, he's attractive, he's redheaded. He apparently gave her the best night of pleasure in her life, which she keeps thinking about over and over again, and she's like, shut it down. I need to be all business. She's like, Carrion, and Carrion's like, hey. Um, and their banter is so good. It's just him, his banter. She does not banter back. He's just like, "Hey, smooth talking, ladies' man over here." He jokes, he alludes to their sexual encounters. He's like, "You're cruel. I've been thinking about you since." Um, but Sarah gets straight to the point and confronts him about gambling with Hayden because apparently he promised that he wouldn't mess with him anymore in exchange for her not halting his trade lines. He's a smuggler, so he smuggles things like between the wards. Carrion tells Saris that he messed up with Hayden only because Hayden pulled a knife on him when Carrion tried to refuse to play another round. So he beat him up. And you're like, oh damn, okay. Carrion then
well,
invites Saris for a drink, and she refuses at first, but Carrion tells her that he'll give her Hayden's scarf back if she has a drink with him. She renegotiates for the scarf plus the money that Hayden lost, which in this world the currency is called chits. A chit is a probably the equivalent of a, I wouldn't say a dollar, like a penny or
yeah, I think it's
something.
less than a pound. Yeah, a couple pennies
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Maybe a nickel. Maybe a nickel.
Maybe a nickel. And she's like, you better tack on 5 extra for the time and effort that I'm putting into getting this back. And he's like, okay, okay, fine. Everything this man says to her has sexual innuendo, but he's finally like, okay,
Correct.
fine, straight to business then. She finds a table away from his crowd and sits there, waits. And Carrion brings a drink that's like essentially a pint of whiskey and sets it down in front of her. And she's like, that is not one drink. And he goes, it's in one glass. Um, she's like sitting there and she sees that he's got a regular sized, drink of whiskey. She's looking at him, she's looking at the thing, and she's like, I probably need to be a little buzzed for this conversation. He clearly wants something. So she takes like a big gulp of the whiskey and she's like, all right, let's talk. Carrion finally tells Theris what he wants to talk about. He knows that someone stole a gauntlet from the hub. He knows it's her. And he tries to convince her to stash it in his warehouse, insisting that it's for everyone's safety. He's like, that's going to kill not only you and your brother and everyone you know, but like everyone in the third. You need to get that out of here and stash it somewhere safe. She's like, no way am I going to give it to you. And he's like, I don't want it. I just want it out of here. I have a grandmother who lives here. That's why I'm here. Her name is Gracia, apparently. We don't get a lot more about her.
Mhm.
And he's like, just take it to my warehouse. It's the easiest place to hide. The Guardians won't think to look there. It'll be out of here. They won't have anything. So she finally decides to heed his warning, although she doesn't admit it to him. Barely admits it to him. She's like, yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
doing it, whatever. And she leaves, but not before Carrion tells her that she's beautiful, even though she's filthy and sarcastic. This man knows how to compliment a woman, too. In context,
Mhm.
he was like, you're beautiful. And she's like, I'm filthy and sarcastic. I'm not beautiful. So he's like, even then, you're beautiful.
Ooh.
Yeah. When Sarah's exit Kala, dun dun dun, Hayden and the gauntlet are gone.
No.
I was reading this and I was like, I already know I'm gonna hate Hayden so much.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna want to punch his stupid face.
He's a little reckless.
Chapter 3, The Kindest Purpose. Hayden never listens, never pays attention, and always gets in trouble. At first, Saris thinks that Hayden has gone back to the Mirage, which is the bar that they're squatting in the attic of. But then she realizes that he might have gone to the market to try to sell the gauntlet if he had happened to look in it. At this point in time, it's important to note that not only has she not had any water that day, she's had basically half a pint of whiskey, and she's run from guardians and climbed a wall and sweat so much. This girl is so dehydrated and like probably pretty drunk too.
Yeah.
Hayden has a way of getting into trouble, and Saris finds him. Oh no, Oh, we're almost done with the chapter recap. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, we're near the end.
So while she's like walking towards the market, it's just more lore dump. We find out a bunch of things. We find out that Queen Madra is called the Undying Queen and is eternally youthful, even though she's human, and no one knows how that's possible because humans haven't had magic in hundreds and hundreds of years. Even though they hold on to the hope that there's still some magic imbued in like amulets and stuff, and the guardians still like try to look for secret magic users, we find out humans haven't had magic except for Saris. We don't know what her magic is, we don't know how
Mhm.
powerful she is, but she can affect metal. I think I did forget to read that. So we find Saris can affect metal, and she like plays it off as a parlor trick even though it's actually a secret that can get her
Mhm.
killed. As she continues to search the market, a piercing scream comes from back towards the Mirage, and Saris starts running. She says while she's running, in the third, no one runs. It's so hot. They ration water. If you're like even jogging, you're running away from something. She starts running back towards the Mirage, and then she hears someone say, "Stop right there." And she looks behind her, and there's like five guardians in their gold-plated armor chasing her through the streets. And by some miracle, even though she's extremely drunk and dehydrated, she makes it back to the Mirage and she finds Hayden, gauntlet in hand, surrounded by like 30 guardians. Um, as they close in on Hayden, Saris yells out that she's the one they want. At first, they don't believe her, especially since Hayden decides to be a dumbass and take the blame. That's
I
literally
don't
what I
think he
wrote.
was a. I don't think he's being a dumbass. I think in that point
No,
he's
he's
being nice.
being a little brother, but he's still a dumbass. But then Saris breaks out her rebel fighting and like defeats three guards with surprising and impressive skill. As they finally hone in on her as the threat, they're like, "You better be thankful, you brat. Like this girl saved your life. Like don't try to fight back, otherwise you'll just be killed too." And Saris is like, I need you to like get out of here. Like stop being a burden. Stop messing up. You're such a burden. You're always messing up. It's extremely frustrating to look after you. Just get out of here. Go to the old man's forge and just like be safe and alive. Like I got this. Don't worry. And she's like saying all of this stuff to try to get the dumbass to go to safety. And he's like, I didn't know I was such a burden.
He's so sad about it.
But he's
I
such a
just want
little
like
punk. He's such a punk. Okay, anyways, that brings us to the end of our chapter recap.
chapter recap.
Dun, dun,
Woo!
dun.
Oh,
All right. So we have so much to discuss. We
correct.
have so much to discuss. Before we get into it, you want to go over the characters that we've met so far?
We can.
I will preface this with I did read the synopsis of the book that they have like on Amazon, like
Yeah.
this is the story. So I know that
Yeah.
things are gonna get crazy, and I have pretty spoiler free, but I have seen things on TikTok, so I know about certain characters that exist that I'm looking forward to meeting, but I know nothing about what happened. Like, I don't know anything else about this book, so I'm really excited
Yeah.
about it.
I remember the ending basically and nothing else.
Mhm.
If that there's like a few vague details and I'm like, "Oh yeah." And I remember the ending because the ending of this book is the ending.
Mm,
But the in between I'm like, "How did we get there?"
great.
I don't remember. So,
That's
we'll see.
exciting. So, characters, we obviously meet Saris Fane.
Mhm.
She's kind of like a notorious thief in Zelvarin City.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, she's very
Um,
good at pickpocketing. Pickpocketing.
yep, pickpocketing. She's apparently very good at fighting. Who knew?
Casual, works in the glass
Yep,
business as well.
yep.
Jack of all
And
trades.
and is a tough guy. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. We
She
know
does continually frustrate me for many reasons, but that's fine.
that's fine. It's fine. She is
Well,
related to
we'll get
Hayden,
into it
who
later.
is, I already know, the most frustrating person on earth. So,
Oh, see, no, she frustrates me way more than he ever will. I will
really,
be so honest with you. Oh,
I'm
we can
so
get into it in a
excited to
minute.
see. I cannot wait to see
I
how that plays out.
even in this section, I'm just like, you're so
Well, yeah, she's a
anywho.
dumbass
She's
too. I agree.
they're both so impulsive. They are the same
They
type of
are
impulsive. She's mad at him for doing the exact same thing she
exactly
does.
what she does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
he's just trying to gamble for a better life. That's what she did. Anyhow, um,
we
so
meet so Saris and Hayden Fane. We meet Elroy, who I just
love him.
picture as this like big, kind of gruff, stoic, lovable
Mhm.
man.
Yeah, I love him. He's
Yeah.
wonderful.
We meet we don't meet, but Queen Madra, the Undying Queen, is just this like menacing presence
Overarching presence. Yeah.
throughout. And then of course, Carrie and Swift.
Be still my heart. I love him.
I love him too. He is incredible.
He he is if Mr. Bingley was a smuggler.
I like it. Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting. 'Cause he's very playful. He has that kind of like playful. I'm
He does
picturing like
have that like golden
2005
retriever energy for sure.
for someone who is very much a smuggler and kind of
Yeah.
yeah has that suaveness about him
Yeah.
in my mind. That's what I'm
No,
picturing.
he is
Is
very suave. He's very suave,
yeah.
but he's also very bouncy and playful and like
Mhm.
golden like flames.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I love him already instantly. And then I looked up the
I
fan
love.
art and I was like, "Oh,
I actually don't think I looked up fan art for. I saw that you had posted some stuff about
oh,
it, but I was like, I don't think I looked up fan art for him. Actually,
he
I
is
should.
so cute in the fan art. He's so cute."
Okay, doing that afterwards.
Yeah. We meet Bryn, who has no last name. She says that her last name was lost, and it's easier to be found if you have a family name, so she's not trying to get one.
Fair.
I like her already too. I can tell
She's
she's
fun.
like one of those like no nonsense, you
Hmm.
know. And
Yeah, I
then
like her.
just in passing, we hear about Rojana, who has a house where they trade fruit for food.
They just trade stuff.
They just trade stuff, but like they get shipments of fruits in. And then there was another market stall owner that let me see if I can find the name
That
real
she was
quick.
thinking that's where Hayden was going.
Vorath Shah is the other guy's place, and
Yes.
he sells quote unquote snake oil. So he sells amulets, things that he claims are imbued with magic, things that he claims he sells like the fountain of youth that keeps Queen Madra so young, and he's a dangerous guy. He would as soon sell you one of his curios and buy one of the ones that you're looking to sell as like gut you and steal it and leave you to die.
Yeah, he's great.
And I think, and then like the Guardians. The Guardians are these just like, they're the city guards. Their armor is gold. They're all really ruthless. They go through an 18-month program of ruthless training.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, they're the overtly menacing force in Zilverin City.
Correct. They're the enforcers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Did I miss anyone?
Not that I can. eh, If I mean, Hayden, but we mentioned him a few times. I don't think we had like a specific slot for
The
him.
brother.
I mean, no one important. I don't think, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and go into, do you want to do superlatives first or Colleen's corner first?
Let's do superlatives. We
Okay.
usually do that first.
Time
Yeah.
for section superlatives.
Woo!
Okay, drama queen of the section.
I don't know. Um, Probably Hayden, I would
Yep.
say. He's not really a drama queen. He's just, I
He
don't know,
is a drama queen, and I'll
frivolous.
tell you why. Because he tried to shank Carrion for not playing another round with him, and then pouts about it. It's like, I'm fine. I just want to get my scarf. And everyone is like, no, go sit outside where you can't get in trouble. And he's like, "Mm."
But I want to scarf. I'm gonna die. Which is kind of true. He probably would die if
That
he
is.
stayed out there too
But
long
if he's
without it.
not moving, he can just do one of the pull the shirt over. He's fine. Uh, yes, I would say Hayden for sure.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think the craziest thing to happen was?
I'd say her fighting. I wasn't expecting. Like I knew she was capable, but the I will
Mhm.
say the fighting in this is actually one of the few that I'm like, oh, I'm actually interested in like
It's written so
listening or reading
well.
it. It
Hmm.
is. Usually I don't care that much about it, but in this one I was like, oh, this is intriguing. Like I like clued back in for a little bit when it happened.
Yeah, yeah, the action sequences are great. Um, I had a couple of crazy things. The rationing water thing, especially because
Yeah.
it's like a false shortage. Everyone in the hub is
Hmm.
fine. It's only the
Yeah,
people
it's a
in
maid
this.
shortage.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and then despite the rationing of water, the fact that she drinks a whole bunch of whiskey. What an idiot.
Not bright.
No. Um, but yeah, I would say, again, I read the book synopsis, so I was prepared for like some of the intriguing magical hints that we get. I still don't know what it means really, but I was
Hmm.
prepared for like that. I think I was
Yeah.
prepared for the fighting. I guess I didn't expect her to be that good at it, but I was prepared for her to be
Yeah.
like able to hold her own just because that's kind of a trope in
In these books, yeah.
fantasy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All
Yeah.
right. All right, Colleen, take it away. Colleen's corner.
Woo! My corner. Okay. So, this might get a little bit into world building, but I think it's
That's fine.
somewhat relevant. So, this is what I was thinking of. And it kind of leans into your last point is this book is magical, but I would almost categorize it more as dystopian. It
Mm-hmm.
feels very dystopian, and I think you and I both have probably read there was a slew.
Good amount.
That was all you could find for a hot
Yeah.
minute. Love Hunger Games, all of those, but that was all you could get for a very
Mm-hmm.
long time. So I think we're
Like a
very
long
aware.
time. It was like 4 years, maybe five,
Like I would say like close to a decade of
maybe.
almost only dystopian novels, which I
Yeah.
loved. I like
No, it
dystopian
was
novels.
great.
They're set in them for a reason. They're really easy things to write within, especially if you want to write an oppressed person.
Mm-hmm.
Dystopia.
Yep.
But I remember when I was reading this because it's not like when you read ACOTAR or like Fourth Wing's kind of dystopian, but it still feels I think more magical almost than this book does.
Mhm.
Dragons are pretty. It's hard to not feel magic with dragons.
Yeah.
And like magic is mentioned, but I would say like at least what we've read so far, there's two suns. Like that's why it's so
Yes.
hot. There's two suns in the sky, and they're like it is literally so hot that if we inhale sand, it burns our lungs. Like it's
Mhm.
not like it just kind of hurts; it burns them up. So I don't know.
Yep.
I get more of like a Mad Max dystopian vibe.
Mad Max, almost like Maze Runner once they I think it's like book 2, once they get out of the maze.
Yeah, like into the deserty sections.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of
for
what I'm
sure.
getting as well, which I think is interesting because I don't think you always get that with fantasy
Mhm.
settings a lot of the time. Like you'll get like I don't know, militaristic or like kind of like I don't know, like Pharaoh was in again like a tough spot, but she was also
Mhm.
like in the woods. Like it was
Yeah.
very much fairy tale esque. They're like, nah, you're in a slum outside of a city. That's what you got
Yep.
for this, which
Actually,
I think that.
interestingly enough, side note, there is this book that I just read. Not just, wow, it was last year. Um, with Sonia and Jasmine when we started our book club, called
Mhm,
The Phoenix King, and it too is
mhm,
this like sci-fi fantasy. It's both. It's
mhm,
sci-fi fantasy,
mhm.
set in a desert setting. So this kind of reminded me
Oh,
a
that's
little bit
interesting.
of that too. But I
Maybe
love
that's
it
a
though.
trending thing? No, I like the concept. Maybe it's more of like a trending thing that are in
I
books
don't
that I
know,
haven't
that's the
noticed.
only other one that I can think of.
Can think of. Okay, that makes sense. I will say desert, I do think is more of like a sci-fi setting. I think that's a good like like Star Wars, usually in a
Mhm.
desert. Like there's a lot of deserty,
Yeah.
which I guess I never, but I guess technically
Dune,
most sci-fi. Yeah,
all
Dune.
deserts.
Is all sci-fi dystopian? I'm just now putting that together.
I don't know because I don't read enough sci-fi.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't read a lot of it, but when I've read like Dune, I would say quite dystopian. Star Wars, I mean, kind
Pretty
of dystopian
dystopian.
to a
Yeah.
degree, unless you're in the prequels, but yeah. The original
Mhm.
series, I would say. The other sci-fi series that Frank and I read that I talked about, very
Yep.
much a dystopian setting. So um I never thought about it that way, but
Interesting.
I don't
Okay,
know.
cool.
Anywho, I just think that this book being like I think when we go into like this style of book and you read the back of it, it does get a little more magical eventually. But like you're expecting this, big grand fairy tale, and you walk into this book and you're like, oh, oh, she's just poor and sad and
Yeah.
in the desert. Like
Yeah,
there's nothing really too. It doesn't feel like you're in a fairy tale
I
story.
agree.
At least say Western style fairy tale,
Mhm.
maybe. I'm sure there's other countries that have fairy tale esque things set in deserts,
Honestly,
but
like as far as Indian fairy tales go, deserts don't you is usually in the woods as well.
yeah,
Or
I feel
like
like the
lush
woods kind of.
lands. Not deserts are not a thing.
Yeah, I'm assuming maybe in cultures where desert is more common, I would assume that would
Yeah,
appear, but
maybe.
I don't know. To be
Not
honest, I
sure.
don't know enough about other. I mean, I guess like Egyptian folklore, but like that I don't think of as fairy tales. But maybe it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we just
It's
labeled it
I guess
folklore
I will
instead of fairy
say,
tale.
like, there's a large part of India that is the desert as well. I just not
Yeah.
my culture, so I'm
Mhm.
a different from a different area. So they probably have
Mhm.
some folklore. I think it's probably more folklore than fairy tale that's
Yes,
set
which is
in the
interesting.
desert. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Great question. Is
Anyway,
all sci-fi dystopian?
I'm just again, I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I do feel like the premise typically of sci-fi is big bad thing, science to make it work.
You should phone a friend. Ask Frank, because he reads a lot of sci-fi.
Which group should I ask? Or like just with us or with everybody?
Just with us, just the three of us.
Okay,
You
then that's
should
a
you
text.
should you should straight call him. I'm gonna straight call him.
Oh,
I'm
you
gonna
can straight call him. I
yeah,
would
I'll straight
just
call him. I'm
text
gonna
him.
stress him out.
Okay.
Hello.
Spam call, so I didn't even look at it.
That is a-okay. I'm actually recording a podcast with Colleen right now,
Oh, okay.
and you're on
Hi,
it.
Frank.
Cool.
We have a friend. We have a question. We needed to phone a friend.
Okay, I hope I can answer your question.
So you read a lot of sci-fi, and neither of us do. So our question, and you can't hear Colleen because she's in my ear right now and you're on the phone. But our
Okay.
question is all sci-fi dystopian?
I think so. It has to be. I think that's like a common like theme within sci-fi, but it definitely doesn't have to be dystopian to be sci-fi.
All right,
Jacob agrees with me. He
cool.
actually looks disgusted that you guys even had that thought.
Jacob, we
Those
are
are dumb.
fantasy readers.
That's so rude. They're
That is
they're
rude.
typically dystopian.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the same
Rude.
look that went across my face too, but it's okay. You don't read those kind of books, so
Follow-up question, is all dystopia sci-fi? I know the answer to that. It's yes. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
goodbye.
Bye. Okay.
I almost did a spit take.
That was pretty funny.
I do think I heard Jacob in the background go, "No!" Just
Yep.
quite loudly.
Just
I
very
was like, "Who is
loudly.
that?"
Yeah, that was Jacob apparently.
He
So,
was an upset boy.
wow.
Bless.
Okay. Well, I guess we got our answer in a kind of rude way.
I mean, technically, Frank was fine. Jacob, interestingly, was the one that was sassy about it. Frank was
Yeah.
like, "I mean, I could see why you think that, but I wouldn't say so."
Well, he also said that the same look of disgust crossed his face, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
but that's expected.
I mean, that is, it's Frank.
Fine.
Well, so there you have
Expected from
it.
Frank, yeah.
Not all sci-fi is dystopian. Only the ones that we've read, apparently.
Apparently the popular ones seem to be,
Yeah,
I feel like, which is fair. I guess that is kind of like saying, "Are all fantasy books have fairies in them?" Because like, a lot of them do, but not all of them do.
that
It's
is
probably in
fair.
that same vein. Yeah,
That's
like,
fair.
because all fantasies
I
have
wouldn't be
dragons.
disgusted if someone asked me
No.
that, though. I'd be like, let me answer your question, person who doesn't read this genre a lot.
Boys, we were asking intelligent, thoughtful questions. Is you?
Anywho,
It's what we do on our podcast.
back to Colleen's corner. So no.
Turned into Frank's corner. Okay, so apparently that is a no. Anyhow, I just thought it was something interesting to point out, and I think you will see, and I think that's why the main character is written the way that she is. I think she's almost written more like a dystopian lead female,
Hmm.
more than she's written like a fantasy lead female. The way that she acts and behaves feels very dystopian lead to
Okay,
me.
I cannot wait. I agree with you right now. I can't wait to see how that evolves as we get further into the book.
Yes,
That's super exciting.
at least in this section, because I don't
Thank
remember.
you. He's just bringing me all sorts of stuff.
Dude,
It's a peach dragon. Ooh, I'm excited.
that sounds yum.
Okay. Anything else to add?
Nope, that was mostly it. I just wanted to point out the dystopian elements of it all, which again, I was a huge Hunger Games girly. Like I huge, huge, huge. So definitely fits in the genres and stuff that I like. But
Awesome. Okay. Well, so let's get a little bit into the world building then.
yes.
I think it's important to revisit our map conversation
Oh, is there a map on this?
from season one.
Again,
Yes.
I only listen to these books, so maps have no concept to me.
There is a map. I once again skipped right over it.
We're not map people. Yeah, like, and I know that's
No,
funny for like fantasy readers. Could care less about a map. I don't need it.
don't need it.
Don't need it.
But this is, I'm pulling it up right now. This is the map, but I don't think it actually has
Oh,
Zilverin anywhere on it.
oh, that's not what I was picturing at all. Interesting. Well, so there's there's a lot with it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna get into why I think it might be that way, but
Okay, so there's the map. I guess it really didn't matter if I had looked at it or not for this, but I also just really quickly want to read this little excerpt in the beginning too, because
oh,
it's a thing. It looks
okay.
like it's a piece of paper that's a little ink stained and stuff, and it says, "Never forget, monsters thrive best in the dark. Commit all you read here to memory. Prepare for war," with two exclamation points.
Oh, interesting. I'm sure I
Yep.
heard that when listening to it, but I don't remember it. I don't think I realized it was like a letter.
Yeah. Okay. So world building, continuing on with world
Mhm,
building. So we are in Zilverin City, which is the shining something of the north, the shining city of the north, or something like that.
mhm.
Um, it's unclear to me, so maybe you can answer this, whether Zilverin City is also a kingdom and Queen Madra just rules over that, or if it's like the capital.
Um, I think it's like a capital kingdom. I think it's a little bit of both,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like, I think it's kind of Game of Thronesy,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest
Okay.
with you, where it's like the capital rules, but it's kind of like each section has their own
Okay.
stuff,
That makes
I
sense.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we know that magic doesn't exist for humans in this world.
Mhm.
Interesting that I don't it just a thought just crossed my mind. She very specifically says humans, which makes me think, are there other humanoid creatures in Zilverin and in this world? Are there not? Like it's just a weird distinction that she
I feel like maybe there was, and there
Okay.
no longer is. It's
Okay.
kind of the vibe that I got from that because they do specify
Yeah.
humans, but they don't mention any other types of people.
Yeah.
So
Like
I'm thinking there used to
specifically
be people.
when talking about Queen Madra, she goes, she's
Yeah.
human. So she doesn't have magic and yet she's been alive for. So I'm like, what else would she be? It's just
Yeah. You're
intriguing.
like, what do you mean? Yeah, it is intriguing.
Intriguing.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Um
honestly don't remember. So
Also thousands of years that over not
casual.
thousands, over 1,000 years this woman has been ruling.
I
This
would not want to
human
live that
has
long.
been ruling. Do we not, is there not, it's just, I'm so confused by all of the above.
Casual. It's a casual thing,
It's super casual.
apparently. She
Hmm.
also does call it like the cult religion of Queen Madre or Mave. I cannot remember her name.
Hmm.
So I think they almost view her not in the lower ward, but I'm thinking the other wards almost view her as like a deity
That
because
makes
she's lived
sense.
so long. Even if she is human, I think they've almost like a demigod. Almost
Hmm.
seems to be the vibe that they have of her.
Yeah, yeah, totally makes sense. Um, yeah, in this world there is apparently a sickness called the rattle,
Mhm.
which again, when was this book written? Was it written in like 2020?
I was trying to decide if it was COVID-esque or if it was supposed to be harkening back to like because that's also a sign of tuberculosis
Mm,
as well. Like I think it used
okay,
to be called something along those lines. Um, so I don't know. I do think it came out around 2020. So I do think this was like
okay.
a someone actually during the pandemic wrote and published a book because I read it like last year. Quicksilver. Let's look. Publication date. Okay, came out. Oh, June 3rd, 2024. So about a year ago.
Oh,
Didn't realize it came out
okay.
that recent. I must have read it right after it came out. That's
You
interesting.
must have. So
I don't think I
yeah,
realized that.
I wonder if the rattle, and I don't know how prominent that is in the rest of the book, just the wet cough. I was like, was this written and like it feels very most recently very COVID-esque, especially with like the quarantining too. I know that existed
No, it has
before COVID,
vibe.
but it felt very
Feels
relevant to
relevant.
the yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Um the guards were gold armor. Interesting choice.
It's the softest metal. No wonder she can kill them. Their armor does nothing except look pretty.
And
It's the
like
softest
hold
thing.
them
You
back.
poke it and it shatters. I thought of that, like I didn't realize that the first time I read this, but like reading it the second time, I'm like, gold's very like so my nose ring is
Yeah.
gold and like when I had some people help me like install it and they were like we can only like move this so many times or it's gonna snap in half. Like gold is
Yeah.
so soft.
It is so soft.
So
Very malleable.
but that was interesting. Yes.
And we touched on this desert landscape. Very,
Hmm.
very hot. So hot that they call the season the Reckoning, which I assume is their version of summer.
I would assume. Yeah, I don't know. It does
Um,
seem like endlessly hot.
yeah, it does. And then it's they have two sons, which the sons have names, but they mostly just call them the twins.
Yes. Which I think is it, which again explains why it's like we're hot with one son.
Hmm.
Cannot imagine with two.
They have two.
Like it's hot enough as it
Yep.
is.
So that is the world that we're in.
Yeah. I do think the twin sons thing is interesting. I really like clocked that. I was like, oh, two sons. Because
Hmm.
that feels very like fairy tale sci-fi to me.
It
Like that's kind of
does.
the like that vibe comes from like, oh, like we're
It
not on
does.
Earth at this point. Like we are
Yeah,
somewhere else. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Oh, one more thing for the world building. Hi, Genie. One more thing for the world building. Zilverin is shaped like a wheel. So the wards are separated by like the spokes of the wheel are these giant 50-foot walls that
Mm,
separate the wards, and then the hub is like the rich part in the center.
okay. I was absolutely picturing, which is why I was like, that's not what I was picturing. That's similar as Bossing Say from Avatar The Last Airbender, where they have like the walled
Yes,
cities.
the
That's
walls.
what I was
Yep.
picturing. Yeah. Or the
Yes.
capital from Game of Thrones, also very similar.
Yes.
Um,
Something about
but yeah,
circles and walls and capitals.
circle
It just
walls.
works.
Yeah.
Shall we get to the deep dive?
Good dive. Let's go.
I'm so excited to see like where this goes and how it goes. From what I
Yeah.
know of the books and keeping it to no spoiler of the book, I should say, and keeping it to no spoilers, is that when we do meet the main male character, he's really dreamy, apparently.
He's very much this is not a spoiler. He's literally on the cover of the book.
Yeah,
He
so
is
he's
like
super
tall,
hot.
dark, and handsome.
Yeah,
That's the if you like him broody, gotta love him.
can't wait.
Not necessarily my type, but like if you're an Asriel person, love it. You're gonna love this.
Okay, well,
It's
I'm
kind
so
of in that
excited.
realm.
I'm definitely
Not
more
in
a
a bad
Cassian
way.
person, but yeah.
I agree. I like him. I like Carrion. Well, it depends. In general, I like Carrion better. There are times where his personality, he is who he is. Um, but I like him a lot, I would say.
Love Carrion. I like the fact that they've already slept together.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
already
makes it
happened.
so much easier.
It does. Yeah, we don't have to like go through the awkward part of like getting to I also the reason she slept with him might be one of the funniest reasons
It's to
I have
prove
ever
that
heard,
he's not that good in bed.
and then is quickly proven wrong.
So wrong.
So she just scrambles. Like, I don't even think she fully gets dressed. She just
No.
like panic runs
Yes,
out of the
absolutely.
room, which I find very funny. I'm just like picturing her like grabbing shoes, trying to throw a shirt on as she's running
Yeah.
out of the room, and he's like, "Come on back!" And she's just, "No,
No.
I can't be
And
here."
like everyone knows that it happened.
Every single person. Yeah, it was not subtle at all
Yeah.
because she was so loud about it. She's like, "I'm gonna prove you wrong," and then was in fact
And then she was proven
proven.
so wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I will
Their
say,
banter
even
is
the
fun.
fact that like no graphic, like no explicit sex scene was described, and I was reading it and I was like, "Oh my."
It feels very I think because Carrion's so like he's one of those people that I feel like if he flirted with you regardless, you would blush a little bit. Like you just
Oh
kind of
yeah.
can't help his like charisma unless you're just someone who's completely immune to there are the people I am not one of them. I like charismatic people.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just like the way that he talks, especially if you're listening to the audiobook.
Yes.
That man's
Yes.
voice is wonderful. He
It
like very much
is.
plays into that like suave. It's a pirate. I
Yeah.
love a pirate.
He's
Love
a
a
land
pirate.
pirate.
Yeah, I mean that's what a smuggler is a pirate essentially.
Yeah. I will say for this, so like because I've never read it before, I like read the 3 chapters so I could read it, and then
Hmm.
I listened to it so I could do the chapter recap. And
Mm-hmm.
so I already knew what was happening, but like Carrion's voice actor really just put it over the top for me. It was amazing.
If you're someone who's like teetering, maybe you're like, I don't know if I like I think you should listen to the audiobook of
Yeah.
it because it does
It makes you
have
love him.
it has like dual narration, so it's a female and
Yeah.
a male voice that do it, which has been a recent thing, and I'm so happy about it
It's
because
so
listening to a
much
woman do a
so
man's
much
voice or a
easier.
man doing a woman's voice is rough.
It
I've
was
been in the
rough, yeah.
trenches of audiobooks for a while, so now that
Yeah.
that's more common, so excited. But yes, please. Also, if there's a real life Carrion, call me. I
Yeah,
love you.
you know where to find us. DM us, Book Witches Pod on Instagram and
Yes, but also
TikTok.
don't be gross.
Yeah, be respectful.
Be normal. Like they're long term friends. Like they've grown up together, clearly. Like
Yeah.
she knows his grandma. Like they
Yeah,
have an established relationship, which I
they
think is
do.
part of what we get to see. Like we don't get to see a lot of because like her and Hayden very much have the older sister, younger brother thing. So this is really one of the few
Yeah.
like peer to peer relationships we've seen so far. So
Yeah, agreed. Um, all right. I had some things written down in green that I wanted to talk about, but we might have already talked
mhm,
about all of them. Oh, one thing I thought was really interesting. So, like, she, in the third chapter, she's there, she's gotten to the clearing in front of the Mirage, and Hayden's got the gauntlet, and she sees the Guardians, like, just staring at him with, like, pure hatred. And
mhm,
she says that it's hatred because they know that they could have just as easily been him and he them. It all had to do with the luck of their grandparents and where their grandparents were born or like ended up settling. So
yeah,
I want to know like what does that mean? Because Queen Madra has been ruling for centuries, over 1,000 years.
hmm
But it was their grandparents, so that is in theory 1 century ago.
yes. I'm assuming plague. To be
Plague hit. It
honest,
was the rattle.
I is what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't I genuinely don't remember, but that's what seems to maybe be implied
That would make
and why
sense.
they blocked off this like section.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then like it also is like unclear. It's I don't think that people from the other wards are allowed in the hub either.
No, I think the third is the most poor, but I don't think people from other wards are that well off either
Yeah.
necessarily. They're
Yeah.
better than them, but they're not like thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. It's just interesting. I'm just excited. I
No,
want
it
to hear
is.
more about the history.
Yes. Yes. Me too. I'm saying this as someone like I'm like trying to avoid spoilers. I could be saying them. I don't remember, to be honest with
I
you.
have no idea. So,
So we'll see. No, it is really the way it's like I think I mentioned this in the beginning. There's some books this is the kind of book that I like. I don't need you to have a long exposition and explain to me. Just like throw me in there and I'll figure it out.
mhm.
That's what I like. I don't need you to explain it to me. Like I'll roll with it. I'm okay with that. It annoys a lot of people. I am not one of those people, to be honest.
I like both. I think there's a time and place for both of them. And I think it depends on how I think it depends entirely on like how interesting the world you're creating is. So like you can
Yeah.
like break in, you can give me the backstory up front as long as it's really gripping and really interesting and you introduce characters that I
Mhm,
care about or you introduce stakes that I care about. If
mhm.
you don't, if it's just a bunch of pages, I've said this before on this podcast. I think Wuthering Heights is one of the more controversial examples. I love that book. It is 100 pages of exposition before you get to literally anything happening.
I cannot
For
stand that book.
me, for me, I was immediately enraptured by the scenery that the book was giving. And so I kept on reading because I wanted to be in that world because it was like beautiful and picturesque. And then I cared enough about the characters. But like Heathcliff and Catherine, they're fine. I care more about what's happening in present time in Wuthering Heights. An example of a book that does it very poorly, Grapes of Wrath by Steinbeck. I didn't get through that. I got to chapter 2 and I was like, I'm done.
Interestingly, as someone from Oklahoma, I have not read Grapes of Wrath. I have read John Steinbeck, but I read his like short stories, and
Yeah,
I liked his short stories. Because he wasn't allowed to do the long exposition, he just kind of had to
that's
get
fair.
to the point. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know I am a
Yeah,
Wuthering Heights hater, full
that's
send.
fine.
I do not like that book. I
It
also
is a
read
very
it.
controversial book.
uh, I know a lot of people that love it. Like, I originally read it on my own. Like, this wasn't like a school assignment because someone in my family loved this book. Honestly, no, that family member should have known, but someone that I knew loved it, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, I'll read it with them." Hated it the whole
Hated
time. I
it.
finished it. Was not a fan.
That's so
So
funny.
I will try again as an adult because I was also like 14 when I
Y-
read it.
That's fair.
So I think
That's
that
fair.
makes a difference. It feels a very adult book. It's
It,
adult problems at 14. I'm
it
like, this
does
is
make a
stupid.
difference. I read it
Yeah.
at, I think I was 16, almost 17, so it
Mm,
was like
a little
slightly,
older.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then you have other books. So this book throws you right in, and I love it.
Mhm.
There's a book, oh, I can't think of the name of it now, but there's books out there that throw you right in just like literally the most frustrating way. Zodiac
S-
Academy. They throw you right in and you don't know what's happening, you just roll with it. I just want to punch a wall. Like those I hate
No, I
all of the
hate it.
characters.
They don't give you enough. Yeah, I tried this series. I tried. I got through I
Mhm.
think 4 books, which feels impressive for me.
I
And
finished
literally
it.
texted Orsha and was like, "Orsha, I cannot do this anymore. I can't handle this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna scream." And just had to
Yes.
stop. A book that I think does it well, that might be my controversial version of that's like how you feel about Wuthering Heights, I feel about Crescent City. So Crescent City
Mm.
is one of those books by Sarah J. Maas where everyone's like, I don't know what's happening for 100 pages. Didn't care. I was fine with that. I knew enough of what was going on that I was like, that's the point of the book. Like
Yeah.
you're not like you're
You're not
with
supposed
Bryce.
to
You're not
know.
supposed to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was set up that way. I was fine. That made perfect sense.
I agree with you on that. I also
Yeah.
was perfectly fine and I loved it and it didn't make me mad. I was just like, "All right, we're going with it. Let's go."
I will also state it's not my first Sarah J. Maas. I do think who struggle with it. It's the first one that they picked up of her books,
Yes.
from what I
That
have
does make it a little
noticed.
harder. Yeah.
But
I
I
agree.
really, another controversial opinion, like Crescent City. I like the first 2 books more than the third. I still like the series.
I like
But
it too. It's fine.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that like just based on the first 3 chapters here, I think that Callie Hart does a phenomenal job of just throwing you in.
Yeah, I don't remember being confused. I'm also not someone that is typically like if I don't know something in a book, I'm not going to stress that much about it. I'm just going to roll with it until someone tells me, or I may not even
Mhm.
notice that I don't know what's happening. I'm like, cool. I've never been in this world. Let's go. Like, I just
That's so
doesn't.
funny. Yeah. No, it makes
Not that
sense.
fussed about it.
I think like I think a really good example of what she's doing here is that the main character, sure, she doesn't know everything, but she knows some things. She just doesn't tell
Yeah.
you or anyone else them. So she knows that she has this great some sort of power that's more than just a parlor trick that's like something she can get killed for. But she doesn't even admit
Yeah.
it to herself. She doesn't admit it to anyone else. So like and like that's the sort of thing where like you're reading this kind of book, of course it's going to be some big thing, that's fine. But like, she
Oh
plays her
yeah.
cards really close to home. With the fighting, again, because she's a main female character in a fantasy book, you know that she's going to have some skills. But she doesn't tell you. She says, "Oh, with every strike that the Guardian is throwing at me, I'm surprised that my world doesn't go black." And then he gets
Mhm.
comfortable and I bring out the big guns. Like she
Yes.
is hiding things from you. Is she an unreliable narrator?
Yes, I would say
Yeah.
so. Uh, to a degree. I don't know. Yeah, I would say so.
Mhm.
She's not the main narrator of the book, but I think she's an unreliable narrator of her thoughts.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Like, 'cause she's
Yes.
not the main narrator necessarily, it's more of like a third person, I would
Yeah.
say. It's kind of first person, but like
It's like
it's like a
first
little
and
more
a half
outside of it.
person.
Yeah, it's not like only first person.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess it is mostly her perspective. I don't know. I mean, she might be categorized as that. I just don't feel like her other observations don't seem to be unreliable. They seem pretty
Mhm.
spot on
It's
to a
just
degree.
concerning herself, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
internal reflection is hard, but
Yeah. I love it though. I think it's done so well. I'm so excited to
Mhm.
see more of this. Tell me why she frustrates you if you can in this section specifically.
Okay, so I think it's just because, and that's kind of the thing that I struggle with female dystopian leads. it is never what I would do. I am not built to be a female dystopian lead. I am built to be a like a fantasy lead.
Mhm.
Those I tend to like have similar thoughts. But like as someone who has kind of like been a fighter, maybe less in recent years, I've fought for a lot of things, stand on principled elements. I just
Mhm.
don't understand the like inability for her to see that she screwed up and endangered so many people, and she's like,
Like
well, this will save
everyone.
me.
Yeah.
It's like it's so selfish and it's so frustrating. Like she's very unself-aware. Like she thinks that she is the best thing on the block. She's super talented. I love that, and I think she needs to like fight through life. I'm not saying that she doesn't need it, but it bugs me. Even when she realizes, like, you can tell, this is where maybe the unreliable thing comes in. You know, she knows she's wrong.
Mhm.
And it takes like 3 people telling her and her brother almost dying for her to be like, huh, maybe that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And you're like, literally hide it anywhere else. Like, where are they gonna look for you? Like, she's just very reckless and impulsive. And
Mhm.
I am just not a reckless and impulsive person. And I struggle with it. And I struggle with her.
I appreciate that. Funny enough, all of those things that you just described, I wouldn't do the same thing. I also would not do those things. But the thing that bothered
Yeah.
me the most was that she knows that Hayden gets into trouble, and yet who did she give her freaking bag with the gauntlet to?
She set him up. I remember I'm sitting there and I'm
How are you
like,
surprised?
she gave it to him without telling him, right? Because like
Yeah.
in his mind, it could be like, oh no, someone snuck this in her bag. Like I'm gonna, because I do think Hayden in that moment was like, I'm gonna take responsibility. I lost this
Yeah.
money. She's dealing with this. I'm gonna deal with it. And just doesn't have the same skill set as
Yes.
Saren? Saren,
Saris.
right? Saren. Doesn't have the same skill set as her. That's just
Saris.
not something that Saris. I keep wanting to say Siona because they're very similar, and I'm like, no,
They
different
are
book.
so similar. That's so
They're
funny.
so similar. And I'm like, no. Um, but yeah, like I remember like screaming. I'm like, even today, I was like, why? Like, why are
Hmm.
you like just leave it with your person?
Yeah.
Like, you're the one that did this. You have to take
Just keep
responsibility
it with you. Yeah.
for your dumb actions. Also, she's like, you can't give me enough money. Take what he'll give you. Clearly,
Yeah.
honestly, I think he'll give you the world. Karen will give you the world. I don't think you're gonna have to
Carrion
worry about
will.
that.
He loves her. It's
Like,
fine. I know it's not like a true love. Like he's clearly sleeping around or whatever, but he's
he likes her.
infatuated.
Yeah, he cares for her. I think he views her as like a close friend
Yeah.
at minimum. I don't think he's like, head over heels for her by any means, but
No, no,
he's like,
no. But he is
we're good friends.
like he likes the chemistry.
Yeah, he does. And it
He does.
frustrates me. She just I and sometimes I don't struggle with characters that don't make my own decisions because like I'm not living in this world, fair.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, especially her arguing with Elroy and her just being like, you have no idea. I'm like, he has all of the idea. He
He
was
does.
you.
Yeah.
Listen. Like you're so dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No,
ugh.
I agree. Um I Oh God, the thought just flew out of my mind. That's so funny. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Do you want to hear a funny thought that I had while you're thinking about it?
Yeah.
My favorite thing about this is that the eldest sibling has kind of an insane name, and then the second sibling's name is Hayden.
Yes.
Like, it's just so
That's so
funny
true.
to me, which I don't think it's necessarily uncommon to happen. I've heard this is a common thing that will happen, like an like the eldest sibling will get like a cultural name regardless of your culture, and then the second sibling has like Charlie or
Yeah.
like Sarah. Like that feels like
That's
kind of
so
what
funny.
happened. Like she's got this,
Yeah.
like interesting name. This is not
Saris.
like a
And then like the son was born, she was like, Hayden.
Hayden. This is not a dig on the author. I think it's very accurate and really funny. Like I don't think this is like a dig on
No, I
her
don't
character
think
building.
it's a dig.
I feels it very accurate. I think it's really funny. Like
It
reading
is.
it this time, I was like, his name's just Hayden, and like Elroy is kind of a common name, but ever like Carrion, not necessarily like a
No.
normal, maybe the wrong word, westernized name, right? Like
Yes.
Hayden
Not
feels
a
like a very
common
normal
name
Western,
in, yeah.
like Western English.
Mhm.
media. So like Hayden would be common. Elroy's not the most, but like it's an
I've
English.
heard it
Like
before. Yeah.
I would say some of these other names, like Carrion, would not be like an English name. It probably has a other derivative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was really funny
It is
that
funny.
it's very like cool, like main character name, and then Hayden.
Yeah. No, I think that's hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I still don't remember what I was gonna say. So I don't
it's
think
fair.
I have anything else to discuss though.
Uh, no, I mostly wanted to talk about the twin thing, and then that it felt a little dystopian-esque, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And that she annoys me in this section, but we'll see. I can't remember if she gets better or not as it goes, so we'll see.
Well, we'll see. So
Yeah,
next time we are going to be reading chapters 4 through 6.
6. Yeah,
Yep.
four,
Four
five,
through
six. Yes,
six.
I did that like off camera. I was like 4, 5, 6. Yes, yeah,
Um, Colleen, you want to take the chapter recap next time?
I absolutely can. Yeah, easy peasy.
That's gonna be amazing. I cannot wait. This book is gonna be so good. The second book is coming out in this series soon, right?
It's coming. I know at the it's called Brimstone, I think. I don't know. I know it's been announced. I want to say it's coming out at the end of the year, but I
Okay.
don't remember because it was announced a little bit ago, but I can look it
Mm-hmm.
up. But yes, the second book is coming out
Well, that's
soonish. So
exciting.
it's good.
So
Yeah,
we might have another season in this world then.
I am excited about it because I do remember it being like a mild cliffhanger at the end, and then me being really upset that like at the time there was not even a second book announced when I finished it.
Yeah.
And I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, I need more. So yeah.
All right. Okay, everyone. Well, I hope you have a good week and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty.